Hey friends, it's Miss Blanchard here for a little bit of math today. If you think back to earlier in the week, you worked with Mrs. Deibler on 2D shapes. So if we can remember, we know that 2D shapes are also the shapes we learned about in kindergarten. Triangles, squares, circles, those are all called plane shapes. They're flat like a sheet of paper and you can only see the front of the shape. Today, we're going to learn about 3D shapes, and 3D shapes are different. They are called solid shapes. They look a little bit like 2D shapes because that's what they're made up of, but you can move a 3D shape around to see all different sides, edges, vertices, and faces. Now remember, vertices is that big college word that you learned with Mrs. Deibler. It means the points where the edges come together. The edges are the sides of the shape, and the face is the flat surface that you can see. So on a plane shape, you can only see the flat surface of one face. On a 3D shape, you can move it all around and see all of the faces. A 3D shape takes up space, whereas a 2D shape is flat and it stays flat on a piece of paper. So I'm just going to go over a few examples because these are things that you have seen before in the classroom and at home and walking down the street. You can see all of these 3D shapes. So the first shape that we have looks a lot like a square, but it is actually called a cube. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 edges, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 corners. I think it has more edges actually. But as you can see, it is a 3D shape. You can move it around in your hand. Some of these shapes can roll and they take up space. You could find this if you looked at an ice cube in your drink or a dice that you play with in the classroom, or even some tissue boxes are shaped like a cube. Our next shape is a cylinder. It looks like a soup can or maybe a can of soda that you drink out of. It has its 2 faces. It doesn't have any vertices because it doesn't have any points, and it's just one side all the way around. And our last probably looks familiar to you. You might see a triangle and a circle, but in a 3D shape, it is known as a cone, like an ice cream cone, a traffic cone, or like a little party hat that you wear. So you can find these sorts of shapes everywhere you look. Now I want to show you a fun brain pop video that's going to help you while you listen to Annie and Moby talk about 3D shapes.
Wow, Moby, that looks achoo! Sorry, Moby. I think you dropped this. What is a cube? A cube is a solid shape. It has 6 faces or flat sides. The faces on a cube are all squares. There are 12 edges where the faces meet, and there are 8 vertices or corners. Plenty of things are shaped like cubes, like an ice cube, a number cube, or a box of tissues. What is a rectangular prism? Just like a cube, a rectangular prism has 12 edges and 8 corners or vertices. You're right, Moby. These solid shapes both have 6 faces. But most faces of a rectangular prism are shaped like rectangles, and all the faces on a cube are squares. Tons of things are shaped like rectangular prisms, like a juice box, radio, and even a thin piece of paper. Some buildings are shaped like rectangular prisms too. What is a pyramid? This pyramid has 8 edges and 5 vertices or corners. There are 5 faces, and 4 of them are shaped like triangles. The base is the face on the bottom. The base of this pyramid is square. But I've definitely seen pyramids with bases that are different shapes. I guess the sides of any pyramid are triangles, and they all meet at one vertex. When I think of pyramids, I think of the Great Pyramids of Egypt. What is a cylinder? It has no vertices and a curved surface. 2 faces on a cylinder are circles. A cylinder can roll. A can of tuna, a penny, and a spool of thread are all cylinders. You know what's really cool? The curved part of a cylinder is actually a rolled-up rectangle. What is a cone? A cone is a solid figure with one face, which is at its base. It's shaped like a circle. It has one point and a curved surface. A funnel, a traffic cone, and an ice cream cone are all cones. There's one more solid shape here. What is a sphere? A sphere has no faces, no edges, and no vertices. It's curved and round, so a sphere can roll. A ball, marble, globe, and an orange are all spheres. Sorry about the mess, Moby. Hey!
Okay, I love watching Annie and Moby because I just learned that a cube actually does have more than 6 sides. It has 12, so thank goodness we watched the video. And they taught us about a couple other 3D shapes that I have not covered, and they gave you some pretty good examples of how you can find them in real life. So what I challenge you to do, boys and girls, is to fill out this book that says, it's backwards to you, but it says My 3D Shapes Book. It's going to give you a shape and ask you to fill in the information about it. So it wants to know what the solid shape is, how many faces, edges, and vertices it has. So we learned that this cube has 6 faces, 12 edges, and 6 vertices. I also want you to look around your house and see if you can find a few objects that are 3D objects that you see in everyday life. If you would like, take a picture and post them to your class story so we can see all of your hard work. All right, boys and girls, thanks for listening, and I will see you next week.